Hey, welcome to Gunny Sharp Talk. I'm going to do a quick video just because I've been sharpening all day and answering some questions, and was talking to a couple people about stone and hand sharpening. It's just a quick video, one stone. I'm not trying to get a perfect edge, nice, sharp, usable edge on this old beat up buck. Buddy gave me, or asked me to sharpen, keeps in his truck. He was having trouble apexing it, and it looks like because it's convexed pretty good, looks like probably a work sharp or something like that. It's kind of chipped up, but I already put marker on it, so you can't really see that. Regardless, that part doesn't matter. I'm going to use a 500 grit or 2820 metallic bonded 1x6 stone to do the sharpening from Practical Sharpening. So there's some water on here. I've got a drip mat on my floor so I don't get water all over the place, but what I do is I lock my wrist. Kind of the same thing I do when I sharpen on a bench stone. I want to lock my wrist. I want to keep the bones in alignment. So wrist straight, that locks my angle in, but that's not what is adjusting my angle. I'm not going to move the camera around, but I'll try to move to where you can see my elbow. So my elbow adjusts the angle, my elbow going up and down. Coming away from I'll tuck it into my body and bring it away from my body, up and away in that motion when I'm changing the angle. And your angle is going to change from the belly to the tip, right when you're rounding that point. And that's where a lot of people have trouble with. They'll get it here on the flat part, but as they're rounding, they don't gradually raise their elbow. And if you're keeping the bevel in flat contact with the stone, that's one of those things you have to practice and get used to. But that's how you do it. You gradually raise your elbow as you round towards the tip. Usually keep my elbows kind of tied into me. Part of that's so I can see. I usually don't switch hands for stone and hand just because it's faster. So I don't necessarily see the bevel going this way. One of the other reasons I keep my arms in closer to me is because blood pressure gets up sometimes and my hands shake. They shake less if I've got my arms in close to me. So I'll lay the knife down flat like this, spine against the stone, and then I bring it up till my bevel is flat on the stone. Like I said, with this one, I'm going to have to flatten it some, so I have some little gaps, but I want to pick a spot where the majority of my bevel is contacting the stone all the way to the apex. If you override it, you'll feel a real grittiness like you're cutting into the stone. You went too high. If you're too low, you'll never form a burr or apex it. So with this one, since the bevel's kind of jacked up, what I'm going to do right now is even out the bevel a little bit. I'm not even going to worry about the burr. A lot of times with a knife like this, by the time I get the bevel halfway even, then the burr is there. I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to get this perfect, just nice work, sharp, workable edge for him. And the reason why I like an even bevel and want it kind of flat, or even if you're convexing, have it convexed from, the back edge to the tip. But you want it even. Knife cuts better when you have an even bevel. When you have the same surface all the way across, you don't want it wavy. You just get a better cutting performance out of an even bevel. So I always flip my stones back and forth, because when I do stone in hand, there's a smaller area that I wear the stone out. This is kind of awkward the way I'm holding it, but I'm trying to hold it at an angle that you guys can see it on camera. Fortunately, a lot of times I can hold it at an awkward angle and still keep it even. And that has to do a lot with the way I lock my wrist. Keeping those bones in alignment really does make a difference. Sorry if I end up off camera. I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing and stay in focus at the same time. Much better, not completely. Some of the shorter strokes, when I'm evening out a bevel, is just because I feel like I have more control. By the way, these metallic bonded diamond plates will work dry. I still like to put water on them to wash the metal away. That's much better. Much better. Now, I'll mention on a serrated blade, see if you guys can see that. You see right where, how far over I go. I don't know if you can see it, but then that gets right where I need to be on the back side. So you see almost right in the middle of this crease of the first serration is where the edge of my stone is. Even though my stone's not really hitting there, by doing that, then I ensure I get the whole back side evenly. That's something that you guys have trouble doing a lot on a guided system, because it's hard to make the stone land right there without overshooting. It looks like somebody did overshoot a few times and hit the back side of the serrations. So what I'm doing right now for evening out the bevel is there's some spots that are more level than others, and I can feel that, and that's something that just takes practice, but I can feel it as I come across this way. So then I'll add more pressure where any high spots are, so that I make sure it's even. Then you get much more even scratch pattern, kind of like you do on a guided system or something. Even though I'm not overly concerned about my scratch pattern being even. I want my bevel even, so I want it just as flat here as it is here. So throw some more water on there. And I'm sorry, what you guys can't see is my elbow moving. Kind of went backwards there thinking about moving my elbow. So and sometimes the way I'm holding it now, you notice I'll move the stone so I can keep it on camera. You should use your elbow. If you try to move the stone like I'm moving the stone to keep it, your bevel against it, I can almost guarantee you'll make a mess of it until you get really proficient at stone in hand. And I don't know at what point I started doing that. I noticed myself doing that showing somebody one day. So I was trying to hold the stone so they could see it. And so instead of moving my elbow, I was moving the stone. But I don't know if you can see that, but the bevel's starting to even out, even with me moving the stone. So find a technique that's comfortable for you. You'll have some people tell you what I'm doing it wrong, or you're doing it wrong. Or if you can get consistent, repeatable results that you're looking for, you're not doing it wrong. You might have found your own way of doing it, but you're not doing it wrong. So don't worry about having to do it just like somebody else. It's good to copy somebody for your basics. And then once you get that down, don't worry about it. You'll come up with your own style, things that are comfortable for you. For me, I sharpen so many different ways that... So what I'm doing is using, because this is cheap steel, I'm using the rough side of leather to help remove the burr. I guess what I didn't mention is I did alter my pressure as I was finishing up on there. Let's see. Yeah, it's about as sharp as I really need it for what he's going to use it for. This is a 1 micron gunny juice on a Genda Industries nanocloth strop. I love putting the juice on the nanocloth because it does such an amazing job. This was way faster than, and I don't know if you guys can even see my arm hair, but you can hear it. I don't think you can see it on camera. Yeah, it's not the sharpest knife I've ever done, but it was fast. It's going to serve his purpose. I don't need any more than that. I'll clean it up for him a little bit, but that's my quick 1 stone sharpening. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'll try to do more freehand videos. I've done some that I never uploaded because I don't talk. A lot of times when I'm doing freehand, whether it's stone in hand, especially with bench stones, I zone out and I don't say anything. And I watch the video and it's pretty boring. You're just kind of watching me go through the motions. After you see me do that on one stone, it's kind of the same boring thing over and over. So I never posted them. I do have a bunch of other videos that I do need to post though. They just take so long to upload sometimes, and I'm really busy. So I have a couple videos that I want to get uploaded for you guys on Tanto blades. I got to find the video on the freehand with Tanto, and then I've got a couple that I took using the TS prop. If there's something that you guys want to request, please do. I can't promise I'm going to get to it soon because I already have a ton of requests that I'm waiting on. This just happened to be something that was impromptu because I had a few people asking me questions today, and I happened to be sharpening, and I'm sitting here after I put the marker on the bevel. I'm thinking, well, I'll just set the camera up and do a quick video because this was going to be a real quick sharpening. Takes me longer to sharpen on camera, but it still was only a few minutes, I think. Anyways, sorry for rambling. Really appreciate everybody's support. Love the questions. You know, I'm always available on Facebook, and don't mind you guys messaging me. I try to help everybody I can. I have so many different ways that I sharpen. I eventually will try to capture them all to give you a multitude of ideas of different ways you can approach sharpening, but the goal is to get it sharp. However you do it, get it sharp, find a way that's repeatable, and kind of settle into your own thing, make it your own. I give you tips and stuff. Most of you know, if you message me, I'll ask you a lot of questions to try to help you figure it out for yourself by the questions I'm asking. So when you have to search for those answers, then a lot of times you come across your own answer, and that helps you learn. But thanks for watching.